Good morning, classmates. Good morning, sir. For the topic we have today is all about the critique of justice and fairness. So we're going to analyze and evaluate what is justice and fairness. So I have here some objectives. So at the end of the lesson, you will differentiate justice and fairness. You will know those principles of justice, and you will also define the different kinds of justice. Many public policy arguments focus on fairness, but the question is affirmative action fair? Are congressional districts drawn to be fair? Or is our tax policy fair? Is our method for funding schools fair? So yun po is that are some examples or some questions when the arguments ay nagfo-focus lamang sa fairness. Kung fair ba talaga yan? Ang tinatawag nilang fairness na judgments. So ngayon, malalaman natin kung ano yung kaibahan or kung ano yung justice, tsaka ano ang fairness, ano yung kaibahan nila, at ano yung pagkakatulad ng dalawa. So arguments about justice or fairness have a long tradition in Western civilization. In fact, no idea in Western civilization has been more consistently linked to ethics and immorality than the idea of justice. From the Republic, written by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, to a theory of justice, written by the late Harvard philosopher John Rawls, sabi niya, according to them, or according to him, that every major work on ethics has held that justice is part of the central core of morality. So yun yung according ni John Rawls. But some the idea of Western civilization na mas importante, mas binibigyan nila ng kahalagahan ang ethics and morality than the idea of justice. But according to the Greek philosopher Plato, that is written in a theory of justice written by John Rawls, sabi niya, or the philosopher John Rawls, na ang justice ay may malaking parte, or nagiging, in fact, the central core, may malaking parte siya sa central core ng morality. Ngayon, malalaman natin kung ano yung justice. So, justice means giving each person what he or she deserves. Or, in more traditional terms, giving each person his or her due. Justice and fairness are closely related terms that are often today used interchangeably. There have, however, also been more distinct understandings of two terms. While justice usually has been used with reference to a standard of rightness. So ito yung justice. Yung justice ay, alam naman natin talaga yung justisya, di ba? Or yun yung ginagamit, or yung justisya talaga ay binibigay sa mga tao na deserve nila ang justisya. Yung mga tao na agrabyado, but makikita natin minsan, hindi rin fair yung justice. Kasi, as long as may pera ka, makakalusot ka talaga kahit anong kaso ang meron ka. Pero sana, yung justice, kasi sabi nga dito, justice usually has been used with the reference of the standard of rightness. Sana kung ano yung mabuti at kung ano yung makakabuti sa lahat, yun talaga yung susundin. Kung ano yung dapat sa isang tao na hustisya na para sa kanila, bibigay dapat kahit may pera man o wala. So, yun yung meaning ng justice. So, na malalaman din natin ano ang fairness at ano yung pagkakaiba nila. So, ang fairness often has been used with regard to an ability to judge without reference to one's feelings or interests. So, ito yung fairness. Ito yung nagre-regard sila or nagja-judge sila without the reference of one's feelings or interests. Wala silang pakialam kung ano mararamdaman ng isang tao as long as para sa kanila, binabase nila sa fairness, so wala na sila doon, labas na sila doon sa kung ano yung feelings ng tao. Kasi nga, yun yung way ng judge nila, yun yung way ng judgment nila. So fairness has also been used to refer to ability to make judgments that are not overly general but that are concrete and specific to a particular case. In any case, a notion of being treated as one deserves is crucial to both justice and fairness. So, yung kung ang, di ba dapat sa isang kaso, so ito yung bakit magkasangga ang justice at saka fairness, kasi hindi pwede na ang justice or magja-judge tayo, magbabase lang tayo sa justice. Kasi hindi rin pwede na magbabase lang tayo sa fairness. Okay, like this, I have this example sa fairness. Para sa akin, sa naintindihan ko lang, may example ako about this. So example po is, may pamilya, and then, ang mother ng baby is iniwan niya 10 months pa lang. And then yung father ng baby, yun yung nag-alaga within 3 years. But, bumalik yung mother within that 3 years, para kunin yung baby. And the judge said na yung baby ay mananatili sa ina dahil 3 years pa siya. So, dapat 7 years old, pwede na pumili ang bata kung saan siya pupunta. So, at dahil 3 years old pa lang siya, so, sa nanay talaga dapat ibigay ang bata. So, nagiging unfair siya kasi unfair siya sa feelings ng father. Kasi yung father na yung nag-alaga, iniwan sila. But wala tayong magawa kasi yun yung way ng judgment nila. Dahil walang pakialam yung judgment sa kung anong mararamdaman ng isa't isa. So yun yung example ng fairness para sa akin. When people differ over what they believe should be given, or when decisions have to be made about how benefits and burdens should be distributed among a group of people, questions of justice or fairness inevitably arise. In fact, most ethicists today hold the view that there would be no point of talking about justice or fairness if it were not for the conflicts of interest that are created when goods and services are scarce and people differ over who should get what. So, ito yun. Kahit sa barangay, kung ano yung fair, yun lang talaga. Diba? Nagbabasa sila sa fairness. Hindi nila ginagamit ang justice and fairness. No, yung isa lang, maybe the justice lang yung ginagamit nila, or the fairness lang yung ginagamit nila. So, nagiging useful ang talaga itong justice and fairness when it comes to halimbawa sa palengke. Diba, ang conflicts, yung may conflicts doon. So, kung ano yung dapat, ano yung hindi, ginagamit ito siya, no, sa goods and services, no. Pero, when the reality, like in barangays, ganun, kuminsan, justice or fairness yung ginagamit. Hindi magkasangga yung dalawa. So, maybe, nagiging unfair siya kuminsan kung ang justice lang ang ginagamit or ang fairness lang yung ginagamit. So, when such conflicts arise in our society, we need principles of justice that we can all accept as reasonable and fair standards for determining what people deserve. So, ito yung solusyon kung paano natin talagang magagamit ang justice at saka fairness sa mga argumento. But saying that justice is giving each person what he or she deserves does not take us very far. How do we determine what people deserve? What criteria and what principle should be used to determine what is due to this or that person? So, ito yung problema rin. So, paano natin malalaman kung ano yung deserve ng tao? So, let's find out kung sa criteria and sa principle ng justice. So, malalaman natin or ito yung magiging basihan na dapat siyang mabigyan ng justice and fairness. So, the most fundamental principle of justice, one that has been widely accepted since it was first defined by Aristotle more than 2,000 years ago, is the principle that equal should be treated equally and unequals unequally. In this contemporary form, this principle is sometimes expressed as follows. So individuals should be treated the same unless they differ in ways that are relevant to the situation in which they are involved. So for example, if Jack and Jen both the same work and there are no relevant differences between them or the work they are doing, then in justice, they should be paid the same wages. And if Jack is paid more than Jen simply because he is a man or because he is white, then we have injustice, a form of discrimination because race and sex are not relevant to normal work situations. Ito yung examples nito. So halimbawa, nagtatrabaho ito si Jack and Jen and pareho yung work nila, so dapat pareho yung wages nila or yung sweldo nilang makukuha. Kasi hindi pwede na magiging form of discrimination na siya kung halimbawa si Jack, malaki yung wage niya kasi lalaki siya or dahil sa gwapo siya, gano'n. Magiging form of discrimination na yun or nagiging injustice na mangyayari if magiging unequal yung pagbibigay ng sweldo sa kanila, pareho lang naman yung trabaho nila. So there are, however, many differences there that we deem as justifiable criteria for treating people differently. For example, we think it's fair and just when a parent gives his own children more attention in caring his private affairs than he gives to children to others. And we think it's fair when the person who is first in the line in theater and given first choice to theater tickets. We think it's just fair when the government gives benefits to the needy that provide to more affluent citizens. We think it's just when some who have done wrong are given punishments that are not meted out to others who have done nothing wrong. And we think it's fair when those who exert more efforts or who make a greater contribution to a project receive more benefits from the project than others. This criteria named desert contribution and effort we acknowledge as justifying differential treatment then are numerous. So ito yun. Ito yung relation ng justice at saka fair. Kasi mabibigay lang natin yung justice kung may isip natin na fair yung both sides. So magiging fair yun. Kung sino yung kasala, yun dapat yung bigyan ng Kung sino yung like this. Kung ikaw yung naunang nagkuha ng ticket like you are in a movie, gano'n. So, you're sa sinihan. So, ikaw talaga yung priority kasi ikaw yung unang kumuha ng ticket. Just like that. So, nagiging fair yun. Fair yun. So, on the other hand, there are also criteria that we believe are not justifiable grounds for giving people different treatment. In the world of work, for example, we generally hold that it is unjust to give individuals special treatment on the basis of age, sex, race, or their religious preferences. So, may criteria din tayo na nag-justify about when we talks about the world of work. So, halimbawa, nagiging, like kanina, hindi naman talaga pwede na may favoritism na mangyayari kasi nagiging injustice na siya, nagiging unfair na siya. So, ito yung iba't ibang basihan, yung binabasihan natin kung fair ba siya both sides. So, halimbawa, kung like kanina yung examples natin na pareho lang naman yung work, dapat pareho lang yung wages. At dapat, hindi tayo magbibigay ng special treatment kung binabasihan lang natin yung age dahil matanda na siya, special treatment. Hindi, no? Kung halimbawa, when it comes to work, or in something, or siguro some activities, pwede yan. Pero sa work, when you talk about the work or the world of work, hindi talaga pwedeng may favoritism kung pareho lang naman yung sweldo nila. No, hindi pwede dahil maganda, sexy, matalino siya, yung binibigyan natin ng special treatment. Hindi, dapat fair lahat ang trato. So, ganun lang. And now let's know about, or let's differentiate define the different kinds of justice. So first, the distributive justice. What definition? Okay. Excuse me. Refers to extent to which society institutions ensure that benefits and burdens are distributed among society's members in ways that are fair and just. So, nagre-refers ito sa institution or sa society na halimbawa ay nagbibigay ng benefits or nag-ensure ng benefits and burdens or madidistribute talaga siya in each among society's members in ways that are fair and just. Halimbawa may ayuda, dapat lahat bibigyan, parang ganun. So, nagiging distributive. Halimbawa, may gawain, dapat lahat din gagawa. So, yun yung tinatawag na distributive justice. So, retributive justice refers to the extent to which punishments are fair and just. In general, punishments are held to be just to the extent that they take into account relevant criteria such as the seriousness of crime and intent of the criminal, discount relevant criteria such as race. So, ito namang retributive justice ay nare-refer ito sa mga punishment na fair and just. Kung halimbawa ay nakapatay ka, like the United States, they have this death penalty. So, kung nakapatay ka, dapat papatayin ka din. Kung naka-rape ka, so papatawan ka ng death penalty. Pero kung nagnakaw ka lang, kukulong ka lang dapat niyan. So, diba, kung nagnakaw ka lang, nagnakaw ka, pwede naman siguro putulin. Don't know, but that's the retributive justice. So, dapat magiging dito sa retributive justice, ito yung mga punishment na suit doon sa mga kasalanan na nagawa ng tao. Compensatory justice refers to the extent to which people are fairly compensated to their injuries by those who have been injured them. So, halimbawa nito is yung tao na the example of this are those person na nagmamining or yung mga miners, kung halimbawa na-injured sila because sa kanilang mga trabaho, i-compensate sila sa may-ari. So, magka-compensate talaga dapat yung mga may-ari dito, may-ari ng mining. So, yun yung tinatawag na compensatory justice. Kung halimbawa ay sa isang kumpanya, then na-injured ka dahil sa trabaho mo doon. So, yung may-ari ng kumpanya, yun talaga dapat yung magpagamot sa'yo. Yun dapat yung may malaking contribution kasi siya yung may-ari at dahil doon sa kanilang trabaho, na-injured yung tao. So, yun yung tinatawag na compensatory justice. So, foundations of justice can be traced to be nation of social stability, independence, and equal dignity. So, ito naman po ang foundation of justice, or in short na lang, ay ito yung dapat talaga sa isang tao. Kung halimbawa, we have our own naman na karapatan. We have our own rights. So, karapatan natin ng ganito, karapatan natin respetuhin tayo, karapatan natin yung dignidad natin. So, dapat yun talaga yung ipapakita sa atin. Yun talaga yung dapat nagiging equity sila doon when it comes to our rights and our dignity. So, yun lang. And justice then is a central part of an ethics and should be given due consideration in our moral lives. In evaluating any moral decisions, we must ask whether our action treat all persons equally. If not, we must determine whether the difference in treatment is justified. Are the criteria are we using relevant to situations at hand? But justice is not the only principle to consider in making ethical decisions. Sometimes, principle of justice may need to be operated in favor to other kinds of moral claims, such as rights of society welfare. That nevertheless, justice is an expression of our mutual recognition of each other's basic dignity and an acknowledgement that if we are to live together in an interdependent community, we must treat each other as equals. So, yan daw po, hope na po yung report ko. Salamat sa pakikinig and good day.